Hi there, Gary from Coolsmartphone. Today we're going to have a look at the new Honor 20 Pro. Now, the phone may look familiar to long-term readers or viewers of the channel, and that's very simply because it looks very similar to its forebear, the Honor 20. However, there is some significant differences, and I just want to go through what they are for you. So the first big difference is in terms of the design. So you'll see the back of this phone is a lovely shimmering blue colour. This is called what Honor are calling shadow blue. And if I hold it up to the light and various different angles, it will change in conjunction with those angles. It uses a 3D holographic effect within the glass. There's actually 7 layers built into this back glass to give it that effect. If you're not a fan of blue, there is also other colour options available. The other big differences are up at the front here, up at the rear here. So you've got your 3 cameras. In fact, there is actually 4 because you've got your tiny little one down there. So starting from the top, you've got your 48 megapixel camera with, I believe, a 1.4 aperture. This is now down from the f1/8, which was available on the Honor 20. You've then got a ultra wide lens, which will give you fantastic ultra wide photos, bringing your zoom level down to 0.06 for those really good landscape shots. This is where we see our first difference between the Honor 20 Pro and the Honor 20. Instead of the 2 megapixel lens that was on here for the 20, we now have an 8 megapixel lens. But not just that, it's actually a 3 times optical zoom lens as well. Tucked under the camera array, you've got this final camera, which is your 2 megapixel macro lens, which is effective at around about 4 to 5 centimeters for those ultra close-up macro shots, and it's really quite good at that. The whole camera array is slightly raised from the back, which is forgivable considering a lot more expensive phones are also doing the same thing. You'll notice there is a subtle curve to the whole phone, and while we're here, let's have a look at the sides. So on what would be the left hand side, there's very little there. There is, however, a SIM tray slot which will support dual SIM. However, it will not support SD card expansion, even using Huawei's own proprietary format of the Nano SD card. Around the bottom, we've got our USB Type-C 3.1 charger, which I believe will support display out. However, I've not tested this to try and utilize EMUI desktop. I will have a look in the full written review, so if you want to find out, check it out there. And then we've got our loudspeaker grill over that side as well, and a pinhole microphone. On the right hand side, we've got our volume rocker, which is a nice firm action, good positive clicking sounds on that as well. And then we've got our fingerprint reader / power button. Now, there's been a lot of people who have been discussing this and saying they don't like it. They prefer the old style fingerprint reader, which was on the back or the front, or indeed prefer the in-screen fingerprint reader as seen on the Mate 20 Pro and also the Honor P30, the Huawei P30 Pro. So the fingerprint reader has been causing a lot of dispute amongst the Coolsmartphone community and also the wider field. And this is due to the fact that it's placed where it is. I'm a right-handed user, and I find that, honestly, for me and my right thumb, as you can see, there's no problem. The phone unlocks instantly. However, for those of you who are left-handed, I have tried it by using my left forefinger, and again, I'm not finding any significant problem. So I don't know if it's because I've set the phone up with both, and I've been using both pretty much from day one. But for me, I do actually find that this fingerprint reader is more responsive than some of the other ones I've used. It's pretty much instant. So for the most part, I'm happy with it. But it's definitely something that you want to try if you get the opportunity. So moving away from the actual physical hardware, let's have a look at the software. So as with the Honor 20, which you can read a full review of on Coolsmartphone.com, we are running Honor's own UI, which is called Magic UI, as you can see there. Now, this is Magic UI 2.10, which is based on Android 9.1, and it does have a fairly recent security patch of the 5th of July 2019. I'm recording this first half of September, so I mean it could do with a little bit of an update, but it's not the end of the world. We do also have the 256 gig version. That's the only version that's going to be sold in the UK as far as I'm aware, and it's also got 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is a step up from the Honor 20, which only has 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gig, which by no means is a slouch either. Your screen is a 2340 by 1080p resolution, which again, there's a lot of people criticizing this. There's a lot of people saying it should be 4K or 3K. I'm perfectly happy with a 1080p screen on this form factor. It does everything I need it to do. I can see the text clearly. I can see the iconography clearly. So yeah, for me, it's good. It does have a power saving ability where it will actually switch depending on what you're using the phone for. So you can set various different modes. In performance mode, it will always go for the highest resolution. If I try and come out of that now, if it'll let me. So if we actually go into display, and under screen resolution you've got smart. So smart resolution will automatically lower the resolution if it needs to save power. I can honestly say in the 3 weeks I've been using this, I've never needed this to happen, so I've just left it there. But you can put it down to 720p if you want to. Just thought I'd put that out there. It's got eye comfort on there as well, which is a blue light filter, which you can set to come on at various times as well. And it looks okay. It may not be the most color accurate display in the world, but it's perfectly comfortable for me. Would I have liked an AMOLED screen? Yes, of course I would have. However, would I have liked to spend another £100 to get that? Probably not, because I'm tight. Anyway, moving on. The UI is as you would expect from any Huawei and Honor device. You've got the ability to set it up like an old school Android device with your launcher, or indeed you've got the ability to have no launcher and just have all of your icons on the screen, kind of iPhone-esque, which I don't really dig. I prefer the older Android style. Theming, there is multiple themes available which you can get from both the Honor store and also the Play Store. And all in all, it's just a really nice place to be. It's a really nice, dare I say it, clean UI. And I've been very critical of Huawei and Honor's UIs in the past for being too heavy-handed. I still have got issue with this service here, which they call High Search, because it means I can't get to my notifications as quickly, but I can live with it. So yeah, that's the UI. If you've used an Honor or a Huawei device in the last 2 years, then you pretty much know what you're getting experience-wise. So where do I stand on this phone as a flagship competitor? It's a bit of a tricky one, really, and it's a problem that Honor has created itself, because in this phone and also in the Honor 20, they have two very, very good devices. So they have the Honor 20 Pro, which I'm holding in my hand now, which is their high-end flagship. It's their creme de la creme of their product lineup. And then they have its little brother, the Honor 20, which is by no means a bad phone. It shares exactly the same hardware. They both run on the same Kirin 980 chipset. The 20 has slightly lower memory and RAM, as I've potentially mentioned, at 6 and 128 gig, as opposed to 8 and 256. They're both the same size. The batteries, the 20 has a slightly smaller battery at 3,750 milliamp hour, as opposed to 4,000 milliamp hour in this. Both of them will get you through a day and a half, potentially to 2 days, depending on your usage. For me, really, the biggest area of difference comes down to the camera. So if you want a great smartphone that you're occasionally going to take some pictures of, then by all means save yourself some money and get yourself the Honor 20. If, however, you want a great smartphone which has a great camera, then plump up the extra dough and you will not be disappointed, because this, as far as I can see, gives you around about 95% of what you get on the much more expensive Huawei P30 Pro series device, which is what I'm using to film this segment on. And don't get me wrong, I love my P30 Pro and I would happily have one any day of the week. But if you don't want to spend that 600, 700, up to 800, 900 pounds sometimes on a high-end, all-singing, all-dancing flagship phone, you don't need to anymore. Honor have made it possible to get a lower priced but still high quality phone, and in doing so they've actually created a segment of the market now which is rapidly being infilled with phones such as the Asus Zenfone 4, the Samsung Galaxy A series line, and also the Xiaomi Mi series. So Honor are going to have to up their game to keep at the top, but they're there for now. But they do have some competitors close on their heels. So that's my thoughts on the Honor 20 Pro. Hopefully you've liked this video. Hopefully I've not rambled on too much. If I have, let me know in the comments. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you think it sucks, then let me know. But please subscribe. By subscribing, you will see all our videos pop up in your notification area as soon as we upload them. We currently have a man on the ground in IFA, so there should be some really cool stuff coming from IFA that will be going up on the channel. And also check us out at Coolsmartphone.com. But for now, without further ado, I'm going to leave you to it. So I'll see you on the next video. Bye.